All right, here we are. All the camera angles I could find synced up. So let's watch this.
Look what happened.
3 shots. 5. 9 shots from Team Blue. Not from the sniper, but from someone else in the law enforcement.
On top of the roof.
That shot was from the sniper, south side, and the shooter's dead. That's all the camera angles I could find, so let's go back and see what we can analyze from the time leading up to that moment. What went wrong? So, very first shot I have of the event is timestamped here at 12:04. Lots of people here. We know at this time from reports that the shooter would have been here for an hour surveying and then goes back home to pick up his gun from his father, and then he's going to tell his parents that he's going to a shooting range. This is at 2:05 p.m. So we know the shooter would have been on his way back from home, went to go pick up 50 rounds of 5.56 and stop by Home Depot to pick up that ladder. This shot, if we zoom in, we see that there's no snipers on the roof yet that I can see. So between now and 5:33 p.m. when President Trump's motorcade arrives is when the snipers, I'm assuming, would have set up. This is a shot of the south team, which is going to be covering west. This is the team that ultimately takes the shot that kills the shooter. Let's go to Google Maps. That's right here. So they're setting up facing this way. Then we also have this shot. Shooter's here, walking back to the event. This location is here. From 3:50 to 4 p.m., the shooter flew his drone in the area around 200 yards away. I believe that would have been to survey these rooftops to see if there was anybody up here and also to confirm the sniper's positions. So he must have went back to his car and then is walking back now. This could be that shot. 5:33 p.m. I'm starting the clock now. At this time, we have a lot more coverage from this point to the time of the shot. And this first shot is just Trump's motorcade arriving. Moving forward to 5:45 p.m. This is when we first get these images. So here's the wall where he's sitting. So he analyzes there's nobody on this roof. The 2 snipers here, this team is oriented this way, and they have a lot to worry about. All these rooftops, these guys are busy. It's understandable how they would trust this team to have this sector. And this team is trusting the local cops that are posted up in this building that they will cover this roof. And the shooter's either ignorant of these guys, plays to his advantage because he just blissfully just goes for it, plans so crazy it just might work kind of attitude, pays off sometimes. But he's over here gauging, is this tree line going to cover me from these guys? Because if I can hide from these guys, I can sit here long enough to take the shot. 6:02, Trump walks out on stage. In this image, we have 3 of our 4 victims. Obviously, one is President Trump, who gets shot in the ear, but that bullet also goes past him and hits David Dutch here with the cowboy hat, and he has like an American flag shirt on. And this appears to be James Copenhaver. Both these 2 guys get shot twice. The shooter shoots 8 rounds, first 3 rounds, pause, then 5 rounds. So there's this theory that there's a second shooter. Both strings went to the same cone of fire because one of the rounds from the second string, one of those 5 rounds also hit them again. That is evidence for me that there was not a second shooter and that all the rounds came from the same point and the same cone of fire with the same follow through. Here we have a good shot of the south team snipers facing west. You can see their weapons oriented in the complete opposite direction of the shooter. So these guys were focused on their sector of fire. They were trusting their counterparts to handle their sectors. Okay, now we've got a bunch of body cam footage. We are 4 minutes out from the first shot, and things are starting to heat up. There was a sniper team in these windows who were trying to relay that the shooter was spotted with a backpack in this area on this picnic bench at one point. We know later he would have walked this way. Shooter walked over here, and this is where the shooter would have climbed up onto the building. Things get interesting. So here we have a body cam footage of a police officer walking, and look at this. So somehow this police officer didn't see him or didn't say anything. He doesn't seem to be in a rush, doesn't seem to be running. Then we have this dash cam. That's got to be Crooks right there. So 2 different police cameras spotting him on the roof. This sniper team here apparently abandoned their post. I don't know that for sure, but I've heard that one guy left to go try to search for him and then got locked out of the building and called for someone to let him in, and then the other guy left his post, so there was no one here watching. So without anyone spotting him, he's using this tree right here to screen him from the North sniper team that's looking this direction, which is smart. And then we get this shot.
Can we bring him up for a couple of minutes?
Right here.
All right, you get ready, McCormick. You get ready. I'll get you up here. The world was...
So this guy is just walking for like a stroll in the park. No sense of urgency. I think that's very interesting. Walking here.
The world
Plain as day, silhouetted by a skyline, and this cop can't see him. This cop must be privy to the active radio chatter that there's a suspicious person in this complex. He's not running, just walking. How can he not see this silhouette right here? That's Crooks. That's the shooter right there. Running across a rooftop with a backpack. Crazy. Let's keep going. 2 minutes and 30 seconds out from first shot.
On top of the roof, look.
Here's where we get this witness footage.
Yeah, he's going down.
It appears to me like he's on his side, pulling his weapon out, and it's probably broken down like upper and lower, and he's just connecting it. Now he's ready to go. So it's 6:09, just under 2 minutes away from the first shot. When the rules of engagement are hazy, nobody wants to be that person that halted an entire event for some kid who was just trying to take pictures. So this is complacency. This is what complacency looks like. If you were super gung-ho, you could parkour up this thing and get a quick eyes on immediately. But everybody's just so complacent. Everybody's moving so slow. This cop's body cam. We have this cop's body cam. At least this guy's jogging now. This is just amazing to me. There's no sense of urgency.
I'm boring. I try and explain that.
It's very lethargic looking.
Right?
Pulls up.
So that's when I left off.
Shooter shoves a gun in his face right here. This guy drops down, shits himself, and starts running. We're 30 seconds away, and this information is not able to be moved from this cop to the president, who's 100 yards away. I mean, the first criticism is this guy, they're posturing. Everybody's so lethargic looking. Nobody's moving fast. I mean, if you had some athletic guys, you could be up on this roof in seconds, parkour up there, get a weapon drawn on this guy, throw a flashbang up there. These guys are so complacent to the fact that this guy is a active shooter. They're really planning for the best and hoping for the worst. Like, it's very hard to watch. Runs away. Crazy. So first shot hits President Trump's ear. There's some debris here from the railing. I believe this shot grazes David Dutch's arm, reported as kind of like a flesh wound. But then the second shot, I think, hits him in the gut.
Look what happened.
Takes a shot to the gut. Goes down. So there's 3 shots. 1 miss, 2 accounted for. Let's take a look at sniper team. So now you can see this team has turned their orientation towards the shooter.
Look what happened.
This team earlier you saw on this roof, initially they were oriented west and covering this area, sector fire. Something alerted them to face this direction, either on the radio or either in their visual. So this cop knows there's a guy with a gun up here, and he's just standing in the parking lot.
And you know, that's a little bit old.
Still, 20 seconds away from the first shot happening, he's just standing in the parking lot with his pistol out.
And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million.
Still kind of walking. What's he doing when the shots go off?
Take a look what happened.
Shots are going off, and he's just standing in the parking lot. Completely mentally unprepared. So you can see that if this is the attitude of the police, it's kind of becomes easy to understand how the shooter had the opportunity to get as far as he did. If there was just one gung-ho go-getter, you could have parkoured up this thing in a heartbeat. The more I watch these body cams, the more angry I get. I mean, you could have just took in your pistol out and fired it into the ground, and it would have been a better SOP than just standing there. Corey Compertori, 50 years old, died protecting his family here in the stands. 2 people got hit twice. And then one flyer hits Corey Compertori off to the left, killing him.